The gentle autumn wind swirled through the city, carrying golden leaves that fell under the feet of school children. Mia stood at the doors of her new school, taking a deep breath. She knew this day would change everything. As she stepped inside, she felt the stares of the students. Some whispered among themselves, while others simply evaluated her silently. She walked down the hallway, trying not to show her nervousness. A group of older students blocked her path. One of the boys leaned in closer. "Are you lost?" he asked. She didn't reply and walked past. But she knew this was just the beginning. In the classroom, Mia noticed a girl who looked at her kindly. "Hi, I'm Olivia. If you ever need anything higher," she said. His words were a small light in the shadow of fear. During the break, Mia crossed paths with the group of boys again. They started teasing her, shoving her, and throwing hurtful words her way. When Mia entered the restroom, she heard voices. Time to show her the rules. The door suddenly swung open. Standing there was Mr. Jackson. "Everyone out," he commanded. His voice wasn't aggressive, but it carried undeniable authority. The bullies hesitated and retreated. Mia took a deep breath. "They won't bother you anymore, I promise," he said. This was the beginning of her extraordinary friendship with the man who became her protector. Mia couldn't believe all that had happened. She stood in an empty room, still feeling the tension gripping her heart. For the first time since coming to her new school, she didn't feel alone. Someone had truly stood up for her. Mr. Jackson looked at her closely. He was a middle-aged man, with gray streaks in his hair and deep, wise eyes. "It's important to keep your head held high. They're testing you. If you show fear, they'll keep going," he said. Mia sighed. "I know, but it's hard. They're always finding new ways," she replied. Mr. Jackson nodded, as if he understood everything without needing more words. "You're not alone. Stay strong," he said. From that day on, Mia often crossed paths with Mr. Jackson in the hallways. When no one was looking, he would give her a quick smile, one that gave her the strength to face another day. But the boys didn't stop their attacks. They wrote hurtful things on her locker and shouted cruel comments in the hallways. One day, Mia found a note tucked among her belongings. "This school isn't for you. You'd better disappear." Her heart sank. When Mia arrived at school the next morning, she knew something had to change. She could no longer just endure everything. She spotted Mr. Jackson in the hallway and ran up to him. "I can't take it anymore. It's getting worse," she said, her voice trembling. He gave her a thoughtful look before replying quietly, "We'll fix this. They think no one sees what they're doing, but I'll set up cameras." Mia's eyes widened in surprise. "Cameras?" "Yes. They think they can get away with anything." "It's time to show everyone what's really happening," he explained calmly, and so began a plan that would change everything. Mia's footsteps echoed softly in the school's hallways, but inside, a storm raged within her. The events of the past days wouldn't leave her mind. The sneers, the shoves, and those piercing stares that made her feel like a stranger in what was supposed to be her new sanctuary. She stopped at her locker and saw a note taped to its door. The writing was crude, with jagged letters that spelled, "You don't belong here." Her hands trembled as she ripped the paper down. Mia felt trapped, like she had no escape. "Everything okay?" he asked gently, leaning in slightly. Mia wasn't sure how to respond. "Tough here, isn't it?" he added. She only nodded, keeping her gaze fixed on the floor. "I see them. I know what they're doing. But you're strong. Don't let them break you," he said with quiet resolve. The words were simple, but they carried warmth and understanding. For the first time, Mia felt like someone truly saw her and understood. Later that day, Mia noticed the bullies in the schoolyard. They gathered in groups, laughing loudly, and one of them suddenly turned his gaze toward her. "Hey, new girl, why so quiet?" he called out. They gathered in groups, laughing loudly, and one of them suddenly turned his gaze toward her. "Hey, new girl, why so quiet?" he called out. His tone was confident but laced with malice. Mia pretended not to hear him and kept walking, but the boys moved closer. "They never stop. What can I do?" she asked, her voice breaking. Mr. Jackson paused for a moment, then said, "Don't worry. Things are about to change. Give me some time." That evening, Mia stayed at school longer than usual. She watched as Mr. Jackson installed small cameras in the hallways and near the entrances. "This is for you," he explained. Mia couldn't believe someone was willing to fight for her. She felt something she hadn't in a long time, a warm sense of support she had desperately needed. After Mia saw Mr. Jackson begin installing cameras, a spark of hope ignited in her heart. She felt that something was finally about to change. He was the ally who restored her belief that justice was possible. The cameras were strategically placed near entrances, in hallways, and even by the locker rooms. They were nearly invisible, but they captured everything. Mr. Jackson explained the plan to Mia. I want you to feel safe. We won't let them continue this. You just be yourself, and I handle the rest. These words became a source of comfort for her. Yet, Mia still felt fear when she saw the bullies again the next day. They continued their attempts to intimidate her, but now she knew their actions would no longer go unnoticed. One day, Mia overheard the same boys laughing loudly in the hallway. The words rang out loudly, their laughter filled with malice. Mia lowered her head and quickly walked away. Mr. Jackson quietly approached her. Don't worry, Mia. We're recording everything. This will end soon, he reassured her. His support gave her strength, but it was still hard for Mia to endure. The cameras captured not only the boys' hurtful behavior but also their dangerous actions, pushing other students and vandalizing school property. Mr. Jackson didn't act immediately. He wanted to gather enough evidence to leave no room for excuses. One morning, he invited Mia to his small janitor's room. Inside was a computer, and on the screen were videos of the boys' actions. This is their true nature, but they won't be able to hide it anymore, he said calmly. When everything was ready, Mr. Jackson handed the recordings over to the school principal, but he took it a step further. The video was uploaded online, revealing to everyone what had been happening behind the school's doors. The reaction was immediate. Students, parents, and even local residents were shocked by what they saw. It was a moment of truth, exposing those who thought their actions would remain hidden. The school found itself in the spotlight after the video exposing the bullies was shared online. The recording shocked everyone, students, parents, and teachers alike. For the first time, the behavior that had been hidden in the shadows was brought into the open. The school principal quickly organized a meeting with the bullies' parents. The boys were summoned to his office along with their families. This is absolutely unacceptable, the principal declared, showing the video. Your behavior goes against the values of our school. The parents were stunned. Some tried to defend their children, but the evidence left no room for doubt. The boys, who had once acted so confidently and arrogantly, now stared at the screen in shame. Meanwhile, Mia felt safe for the first time. She noticed how the bullies had become less active, clearly afraid of the consequences of their actions. The boys' parents insisted on their punishment. They were required to publicly apologize to Mia and to all the students at the school. During a large school assembly, the boys stepped onto the stage. Their voices trembled, and their faces were filled with embarrassment. We regret our actions. We are deeply sorry for what we've done, one of them said. It was a moment of victory for Mia. Mr. Jackson, who had always stayed in the background, watched the scene with quiet satisfaction. He knew justice had prevailed, and that Mia could finally begin a new chapter in her life. The school began to change. Students who had once been too afraid to stand up to the bullies now started supporting Mia and becoming more open. The school courtyard glowed under the warm morning sun. The atmosphere had shifted, and for the first time in a long while, Mia felt at peace. Now she could walk the hallways freely, without glancing over her shoulder, and she finally felt like part of the school community. After the bullies' public apology, many students began treating Mia differently. Those who had previously been indifferent observers now approached her to strike up conversations. Some even apologized for their inaction, explaining that fear of standing up to the bullies had held them back. Olivia, who had always been kind to Mia, had now become her close friend. They ate lunch together, laughed often, and worked on class projects as a team. Mia no longer felt alone. Mr. Jackson remained the same wise and kind mentor he had always been. Whenever Mia passed him in the hallways, she greeted him with a smile. Their friendship had become something special. He hadn't just helped her. He had taught her how to be strong and unafraid to stand up for herself. You saved me when no one else did, Mia said, her voice filled with gratitude. Mr. Jackson looked up and smiled warmly. You were strong, Mia. I just helped you see it, he replied. After the incident, the school principal introduced new measures to prevent bullying. Special lessons were held to discuss the importance of respect, friendship, and mutual support. Students began engaging in conversations about how to stand up against mistreatment. The bullies were transferred to another class where they worked with a psychologist. Over time, they became quieter, no longer seeking out conflict. Mia discovered herself in this new school. She joined the art club, where she uncovered her talent for painting. Her works, vibrant with colors and hope, reflected her renewed sense of life. When the next school art exhibit came around, Mia presented her piece titled The Power of Support. The painting featured a large hand reaching out to a smaller only, a symbol of friendship and help. Mr. Jackson attended the exhibition to see her work. He stood in front of the painting and quietly said, "It's beautiful, Mia. You have a bright future ahead." Mia smiled, feeling the warmth of his words.